Hi guys, and welcome to another batch of your replays. Today we're going to be focusing on some big games played in medium tanks, and we are kicking off the action with the Jeremy FTW, or just Jeremy. You may remember Jeremy from a recent replay in his ISU 152. He had a big game in that one, and he's going to have another big game here. He is in his T-54, the Russian Tier 9 medium tank. Now this tank is a really good tank. I recently unlocked it, recently started playing it, and I'm having a lot of fun in it. It's a really strong, and I would even hesitate to say overpowered medium tank. It's fast, it's maneuverable, it's got a really good rate of fire. The gun isn't really all that accurate at long range, but it's good enough, and its standard ammo is pretty good. So fast rate of fire, 201mm of penetration, 320 alpha damage. This tank is already incredibly powerful, and that's before I even mention its really strong frontal armor and very good turret armor. So really it's all you could want from in a medium tank. But what makes the T-54 seriously overpowered? Now, even without premium ammo, this tank is overpowered in my opinion, but what makes it seriously overpowered is its premium ammo. Basically, it fires heat. And not only does it fire heat, but it gets 330mm of penetration. Wow. 330mm of penetration means that the T-54, even though it's a tier 9 medium tank, can take on virtually any tank in the game. It doesn't matter how heavily armored they are. So if it's an E100, if it's a Mouse, if it's a T110E3, this tank can take them on frontally with just a little bit of knowledge of weak spots. So for a tier 9 medium to be able to take on tier 10 heavies or tier 10 TDs from the front using this heat ammo, that's what makes the tank overpowered. But that doesn't take away from the fact that this is a really good game, even though Jeremy is going to be firing a lot of heat. So we are on steps. It's a 52%er. Let's just get going. So it's an encounter game, and Jeremy is going to the 1-2 lines. You very rarely see medium tanks moving to the 1-2 lines. Medium tanks usually head over towards cap, but Jeremy is moving into this strong position. There's a bush here. He's going to start off this game by playing quite passively and sniping from the back, and he's already got his premium ammo loaded. So just waiting for spots. IS-3 has moved forward, and there's the first victim. A T110E4 shot from the side, even at an angle. The shot penetrates, and he is up to 352 damage. E100 angles just as Jeremy fires. The shot goes into the E100 spaced armor. Spaced armor is the absolute worst thing you can hit when you're firing heat. Spaced armor will absorb the shot, so no damage done there. So Jeremy is relocating. No, he's not. Jeremy has just realized there are more targets appearing behind him, so he's moving back into position. He's moving back into using the bush. There's a Jagdtiger here. Got a shot on his lower glacis, but doesn't need to even aim at the lower glacis. Is able to go through the upper structure on the Jagdtiger, the thickest armor on the Jagdtiger, and he goes through it and does more damage. Bounces that particular shot. That shot looks as if it may have hit the edge of the gun mantlet, but Jeremy has been spotted. He falls back. But that Jagdtiger's in a really strong position. He is hull down. He's showing his strongest armor. Jeremy goes for a blind shot. No idea whether or not it went in. We'll maybe see when the Jagdtiger reappears. So now the Jagdtiger is on much lower health, so it's a good chance that shot went in. Another shot straight into the thickest armor on the Jagdtiger. Jagdtiger's on 56 health. Again, shot goes slightly to the left, but kills the Jagdtiger. Aiming for the weak spot on the Jagdpanzer E100, and the shot goes so far to the left. Still manages to pen the Jagdpanther E1 or Jagdtiger E100 from the front, but wow. That shot just was so off aim, so off the center of the reticule. It still was able to pen the Jagdpanzer E100 from the front, even though it didn't hit where it was aiming. So Jeremy is finally going to relocate. He's looking for shots on these other heavies down on the 1-2 lines. E100 Oh, by the E100. He did have the front of the turret of the E100. E100 turned it just as Jeremy fired. So basically, this heat ammo, even though this E100 is perfectly angled, he's playing his tank well, Jeremy needs to hit him flush on the front of the turret, and does. Goes in above his gun mantlet for 323 damage. It does get him spotted. Rushes a shot, hits the side at an angle, fails to pen that shot, but yeah, it doesn't matter how much armor your tank is. 330mm of pen is usually more than enough to be able to go through it. It just can't hit spaced armor. It can't hit angled armor like that shot. That shot was aimed at angled armor. But now, I was going to say now the E100 is presenting the front of his turret. That shot goes again way to the left. You can see the gun is not really that accurate at long distance sniping. It does the trick, but it's not the most accurate gun in the game. So he's got a cheek shot. No, E100's back. Goes straight through the gun mantlet. Wow, thickest armor on the E100, and that shot goes straight through his gun mantlet. E100's a one-hit kill now. Aims for the cheek on the E4, fails to pen. Now Jeremy is sniping from the back, but he's also hull down. He's only presenting his turret, and he's able to kill that E4 with a shot through the gun mantlet. If you wanted a demonstration of how overpowered the ammo is on this tank, there you go. So that shot hits the side of the E100's gun mantlet and goes through. So it doesn't matter how much armor your tank has. The heat shots on this tank are just incredible. But that's not to say Jeremy has been playing badly. He's done 2,100 damage. Now, his flank is collapsing. Unfortunately, there's just a T-30 there. So that flank has collapsed, and Jeremy is getting out of there. Jeremy knows what he's doing. He can't deal with those 3 enemy tanks head on. So he's relocating, and he's finally using the speed and maneuverability of this medium tank. He's still on premium ammo, and he gets a shot in on a Waffenträger Panzer IV. Unfortunately, I don't know where that shot went. He's firing heat. He probably should have tried switching up his ammo. He could have fired normal AP or a HE shot. He does have 5 HE shells, so probably could have used HE there. Those premium shells, those heat shells, are not cheap. So he's looking for shots, and again he's still on premium ammo, but Waffenträger gets taken out. So it's an encounter game, and his team are not capping. They decided to advance into the enemy spawn. E3 has now been spotted in the middle. I think Jeremy's a little bit worried because there's a Jagdpanzer E100. Oh, that shot goes high. Again, not the most accurate of guns at range, and he is still firing heat, but I think Jeremy's a little bit worried about that Jagdpanzer E100 and E50 popping up in front of him. So again, if there's one thing I can say, Jeremy, is you could probably alternate between your ammo choices a little bit more. It would be cheaper. I don't remember what your ammo costs at the end of the game were, but a couple of shots there you could have fired AP or even HE. So now there's a Jagdpanzer E100, again side of the Jagdpanzer E100, goes for a shot, leaves him on 121 health. Going for a blind shot, and that shot looks as if it wafted high. It does get him spotted by that E3. E3 is looking this way. Jeremy decides not to hang around, avoids the shot. So Jeremy's team are losing. It is 3 versus 5 enemy tanks right now. So even though they won the flank on the 9-0 lines, they decided not to cap. They kept advancing. I think they're starting to pay the price for that now. They've lost a lot of tanks over there. E50M looks as if he's going for the cap. T-34 is holding the ridgeline. He's going hull down. And Jeremy's going to be doing some flanking. So the E50, who was last spotted on this flank, is relocated. He takes out the T-34. It is now 2v5. Now there is an E50M who was spotted at the beginning of the game. And there we go, in shot. Enemy team are reporting him as a bot, an AFK bot. But Jeremy is being very cautious here. Still a Jagdpanzer E100 and E3 that were last spotted over here. No guarantee the E50M is a bot, but... Yep, okay, looks as if the E50M is indeed AFK. So, Jeremy is being very, very cautious here. I have seen a lot of players who would stop and start firing at that E50M just because it's free XP, just because it's free experience, or free credits. But Jeremy knows that that E50M has spotted him, so he's had to relocate. He gets a spot on that E3. E3 misses. Carnarvon is a one-hit kill. Jeremy is gone into auto-aim mode. He needs to take out this Carnarvon. Oh, by the way, the E50M who was in cap is dead, so now it is 1v5. So if Jeremy can come out of this with a win, it is going to be a Kolovanov's medal. He takes out the Carnarvon for kill number 4. It is now 1 versus 4. And once again, you would see a more inexperienced player or a greedy player stopping to take shots at that E50M, but Jeremy doesn't want to do that. He knows the E50M is no threat other than the fact he just got spotted by him. So enemy team are now capping. He needs to relocate. There was an E3 last moving in on his position. Just one tank in the enemy cap, so it's either the E50 or the Jagdpanzer E100 that hasn't been spotted in some time. So we're going to speed it up till something happens, but Jeremy is using his medium tank correctly. He is maneuvering, he is flanking. He doesn't want to engage this E3. This E3 has a lot of health. He needs to get around to the cap, and now there are 2 tanks in cap. There are now 2 tanks capping. 1 minute left in this game. So Jeremy now knows where 2 of the enemy are. He knows the E50M was AFK. The E3 is the only tank that Jeremy knows nothing about. No idea where this E3 is. Oh, and the E3 has outguessed Jeremy. The E3 has relocated. He guessed that Jeremy would be moving in on cap. He relocates, spots Jeremy moving in, and now Jeremy can't sneak in and get some kills. The enemy know he's here. E50M is a one-hit kill. That was very, very lucky, or the E50. So Jeremy gets kill number 5. Jagdpanzer E100 is on low health. Jagdpanzer E100 misses his shot. Jeremy takes him out for kill number 6 in Top Gun. Now he's advancing. Jeremy has got full health because Jeremy was playing passively at the beginning of the game. He had full health. He knows that he could take a shot from the E3, and he does. E3 does 822 damage to Jeremy, but Jeremy is able to get to the rear of the E3. E3 is a front-mounted turret. It cannot turn. So once Jeremy was able to take that hit from him, once Jeremy was able to flank him, Jeremy was able to get to his rear, and this tank is helpless. And you can see that Jeremy is still firing premium rounds, and he's bouncing on the rear of the E3 with a premium round. He also missed a premium shell. Very, very expensive misses. He's on regular AP now. Has a shot, takes his time, makes sure it goes in, takes out the E3 for kill number 7, and all it cost him was 822 health. That is why it is so important to actually try and keep your hit points. Hit points become a commodity late on in games. Oh, runs straight into a wreck. But yeah, if you can stay safe during the early part of a game, if you can conserve your hit points, you can use them as a currency later on in a game. And Jeremy traded 822 hit points in order to be able to get around to the side and rear of that E3 and take him out. So that was some really, really nice play. We know that the E50M was last AFK, so we're going to speed it up. I don't know what the E4 is complaining about. The E4 is complaining about the mission, the matchmaker. E4 and the enemy team, top tier, tier 10 game, complaining about the matchmaker. So anyway, Jeremy has finally relocated the E50M. He gets to his rear just in case the E50M decides to wake up. He's putting shots into the engine, trying to set him on fire. He's only got 10 rounds left in his tank, but that's more than enough to kill an E-50M. So trying to set him on fire, shot after shot into the rear. Finally sets him on fire and lets him burn to death for kill number 8. And that is his Radleys. So a really, really big game from the Jeremy for the win. He finished up with his ace tanker, picked up a Radley's and automatically the Top Gun, but he also picked up high caliber, defender and a Kolovanov's medal for standing alone against 5 enemy tanks. He finished top on XP with 17-16, big game, 6,391 damage and 8 kills, 37 shots, 32 hits and 24 penetrations. As you can see, the T-54 is perfect. It is fine with its regular ammo, but when it fires its premium ammo, that heat just makes this tank so overpowered. It is an absolute beast. He spotted 2, damaged 8, destroyed 8, and did 405 assistance damage with 78 base defense points. Because he fired so much heat during the game, he made a big loss. Okay, yes, you can have amazing games in this tank. The heat ammo is absolutely amazing, but it's going to cost you. And even though he got 8 kills, even though he did 6,391 damage, he still made a loss of nearly 67,000 credits. I think that loss could have been a lot less if you'd switched between ammo choices. I don't think some of those heat shots were required, but still can't take away from a really big gun. And that is a perfect example. That replay is a perfect example of why you see so many T-54 drivers firing heat. It is just so powerful. 2,574 XP on a ×2 first game of the day left him on 5,148. Really impressive medal haul from a really good game. I really liked the way that Jeremy was quite passive in the beginning, was able to conserve his hit points, and as a result was able to take that hit from the E3 towards the end in order to get to his rear and side. You can't do that if you lose all your hit points at the beginning of a game, but Jeremy played particularly towards the end of that game, played it really well. So thank you for sending that in. Really nice replay, and it is time to move on. Next up we have Nealon Travels in her Chiri. Now, there's a little bit of history to this particular game. On a recent stream I was talking to the viewers and I was saying that I don't think the Chiri is a great tank, but someone out there must be playing it really well, because I had just played a game in the Chiri. I'd gotten 7 kills, did over 2.5k damage, close to 3k damage, ended up earning almost 1300 XP. It was 1260, 1270 XP, and it wasn't even an ace tanker, it was still a first class. So I was saying that, wow, someone out there must be playing the heck out of this tank, because I can't understand how a tank I think is so poor is so difficult to get an ace tanker in. And some people agreed. Other people said the trick is to do that amount of damage, get that amount of kills, but also you have to basically get that amount of spotting damage as well. But Nealon sent me this replay as a result. This is another really big game in a Chiri. Wasn't an ace tanker, but it was a really good game, so I decided to put it up on the channel and show you just how difficult it can be to get an ace tanker in a Chiri. This is not an ace tanker, but it's an absolutely huge game. So this is a 33%er. XVM has decided to stop working for some reason. I don't know why. So everything is blank. It says 48 here, but when I was first looking at this replay about 30 minutes ago, it was a 33%er. So Nealon has her work cut out for her. So we're here on Live Oaks, and we are just going to go. So initially it looked as if Nealon was going to be heading into town, but she's decided to head down the 9-0 lines. Now, I do actually think the gun on the Chiri is quite good. It's rapid firing, but it's also an autoloader. And while its penetration and alpha damage may not look very good, it's got 155mm of penetration, 130 alpha damage. You've got to remember that 130 alpha damage basically gives it, because it's a 3-shot autoloader, basically gives it the same amount of alpha damage as roughly 122mm gun on a Russian tank. So for example the IS or the KV-1S, probably the IS is a better example. Tier 7 heavy tank, Chiri is a tier 7 medium tank, and it has the same alpha damage from that burst. So it's got roughly about 400 alpha damage in just a couple of seconds with that 3-shot. Now that's assuming you can hit all 3 and pen all 3, but still it's not something you can sneeze at. It's a pretty nice alpha damage. So Nealon is advancing. There's a Hellcat that's been spotted in the middle. T-29 in the distance. So Nealon has actually probably been proxy spotted by that Hellcat, but she moves across, gets one shot in, misses the second one, gets the third shot in for kill number 1. That is how fast this gun can fire. It's a really, really dangerous gun, especially in a situation like that. Even though she missed one shot, she was still able to acquire and get 2 shots into that Hellcat. You can also see that the reload is just over 9.5 seconds, so it's got pretty decent alpha damage, assuming you can hit and pen all shots, but it's also got a nice reload. So she does take a shot in the rear from a T-34 who's in the middle. She's again being very, very... she's been a very, very good teammate. She's clicking the map to where the T-34 shot her from. So RT has been spotted in the distance. Doesn't have a lot to shoot at. Misses the first shot. Doesn't go for a blind shot. But the Lux has moved up. Lux has spotted RT again. RT has taken out the Lux. RT is on low health. Nealon needs to move forward, get her gun down, adjusts her tank, and sneaks a shot in to take out the FV for kill number 2. She's on a reload again. T-34 has now been spotted, but he gets taken out by a Stur Emil. So Nealon's on 2 kills. It's a 33%er. Now, one of the things that Chiri does have, it doesn't have a lot of armor. Most guns in the game are going to pen it, but it does have a very nice hit point pool. 1,250 hit points. Very difficult to kill or even pen a hull down T-29, especially with this gun. So Nealon's just wondering what she can do to affect this game. And I think she's sensing danger. Her team are losing 4-6, but... yeah, she definitely is sensing danger. She's decided to fall back. She doesn't want to go up against the T-29 who's hull down. Poor acceleration. Like all Japanese tanks, it's quite sluggish. Finally gets up the hill. But she senses danger in the north. Yeah, you can see Nealon thinking, should she go north, should she go back south? 2 tanks in the south are on relatively low health. Is it worth going south? But I think she made the right decision, because as you can see in town, only 1 tank left there, 2 RT, an FE-304 and a Bishop. There's an E25 moving across the middle, spots Nealon, misses the first shot, misses the second shot, misses the third shot. So this E25 is moving in on the Hummel, but Nealon, again, the reload cannot be underestimated on this gun. Hits the E25, fails to pen him, only manages to get 1 of those 3 shots in. The E25 takes out the Hummel, but Nealon is reloaded again. Decides to switch focus, maybe. Nope. Oh, things are not looking so good. Nealon is all alone. She is all alone up here. Her friendly Tiger and E25 have managed to take out the tanks in the south, but they're still advancing and she is on her own. It is 7-12. So she's decided to fall back. Almost fell back too far. Okay, enemy team. Someone drove through the cap, has left the cap. She knows they're coming. They're more interested in killing her than capping. So E25 to her left, looks to her left. Looks completely ignores her. She gets 2 shots in, goes for a reload. Now the enemy team are capping. There's 1 tank in the cap. There's an E25 to her left. And there are at least 2 tanks. 2 tanks in the cap now. So she has got tanks on either side of her. She kind of must be hoping that the E25 is going down to deal with the tanks further south. And he is. So KV-1S is advancing and she's just been flanked by an IS. But she focuses on this KV-1S. KV-1S, or IS is ramming her. But she takes out the KV-1S. Took a big hit from that IS, but needed to kill the KV-1S. And the IS bounces. The IS manages to bounce on the side of her turret. So enough penetration to go through the front of the tank. Gets another shot in, gets another shot in. Gets tracked by the IS. The IS is about to fire. Yes, the IS pens her that time. She's on 111 health. IS rams her, but she's reloaded. Gets 1 shot in. Takes him out with the last shot in her clip. She is on 5 kills. She's been left on 77 health. In the meantime, the Tiger 1 took out the E25 that tried to flank them. 2 enemy tanks left, or 3 tanks left on the enemy team. RL-44 bounces on the front. It's a stock RL-44. Misses the first shot, gets the second shot, and that clip, just 3 shots, just so powerful. So Nealon picks up kill number 6, only on 77 health. AT2 is still capping, so Nealon drops back, trying to get the AT2 in its weak spot. Decides to go for 3 blind shot, or a blind shot. As you can see, I haven't actually watched this replay in a while. Got so many replays I'm watching today, they're all starting to run into each other. So she's using these bushes, she pokes, she moves forward, spots the AT2, reverses so the bush goes solid, gets a shot in, 1 more shot left in the clip, and takes out the AT2 for kill number 7. So wow, she was severely outnumbered there. Fought till the last, has actually survived on 7 kills. 1700 damage, and just 1 enemy tank left, a Stur-Emil who was last spotted on the G line. So Tiger 2 is capping. Nealon is moving down to engage. We'll speed it up, I think, again, because the Chiri is not the fastest tank. So Nealon is advancing. Tiger 1, don't know whether he's taking damage, but Tiger 1 is still capping. Oh, Tiger 1's a 1-hit kill. Okay, Stur-Emil's only on 99 health, but the Stur-Emil uses its gun depression, takes out the Tiger. It is 1v1. Both of these tanks are on such low health. All 3 tanks at the end there were on such low health. Nealon's on 77 health. The Stur-Emil's only on 90 health, so Nealon can 1-hit kill him. So Nealon's advancing carefully, needs to be very, very careful. The Stur-Emil does have amazing gun depression, but the Stur-Emil moves out of the ridge, thinks Nealon is coming from the north. First shot only hits tracks, second shot kills him, and the Stur-Emil is not too happy in chat. So Nealon finished up with a Radley Walters automatic top gun, and even managed to pick up a Spartan medal thanks to that IS bouncing when she was on such low health. But it wasn't an ace tanker, and yeah, some of you guys out there must be playing this tank so well, because I don't know what I need to do in a Chiri to get an ace tanker. That was just another example of a really good game in a Chiri that wasn't an ace tanker. So thanks to Nealon for sending that in. She finished up with 1112 XP, 1797 damage, 8 kills, fired 31, hit 20, penned 19. So the penetration may not be great on the gun, but it's good enough. And as I say, if you can hit and pen all 3 shots, the alpha damage per clip is very, very nice. She even managed to block some damage by armor. Somehow the IS managed to miss her at point blank range. But she spotted 1, damaged 9, destroyed 8, 350 assistance damage, and did a whopping 126 base defense points. She did actually lose money on that game. She was firing some premium. But it was another loss, but yet another really, really good game. And yeah, I don't know what I need to do in the Chiri in order to pick up an ace tanker, but if you guys are playing it really, really well, please let me know how the heck you are doing it. 1668 XP on a ×2 first game of the day, left her on 3,336. So 2 really, really good medium games sent in there. 2 Radley Walters. I want to thank Jeremy for the win for the T-54 replay, and Neilon Travels for commiserating me in my Chiri misery by sending me this particular replay to show that I'm not the only one having great games in a Chiri but can't get the ace. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.